Okay, so next we are going to be working on the lab. You will find this in your Canvas. It's called Lab 1 under the Unit 1 module. I think if you have taken 25 with me, this is similar to what we've done, what we did Ubuntu. So I'm trying to cut back on the time on making virtual machine. So we're going to use a pre-built Linux virtual machine. So there are different operating systems. I think most of you probably know that because you probably grew up with computers. So if you're using Android, it's really Linux-based, right? But we are going to use a virtual machine. So a virtual machine can be created using software. Later on, I can show you how you can make it. But this is the quickest, easiest way that you can get access to security-based virtual machine is through Kali Linux. Kali Linux is used for things like, pen testing, introductory level. You can also get a certification doing offensive security with Kali Linux. It is very cool. For pen testing, ethical hacking, we can use Kali Linux and other Linux. So today we are going to use that. So the first thing that you need to do is you are going to click on the link that I provided for you here. So if you access the document, you can do Control and then hold that down on your keyboard and you're going to click. Control and click the link. Okay, or you can copy the link and paste it. So it's going to take you to their virtual machine page. Now, if at home, if you don't have the link, you can just say Kali virtual machine download, and it's going to take you to their main website, and you're going to go to the pre-built virtual machine section. So these are the type of products that you can use as virtual machine. We're going to use VirtualBox today, right? So simply it's because we have the software that's able to play the virtual machine. Think of it like a Blu-ray player, right? You can press play and it's going to give you a window and it's going to play the movie. So inside it, we're going to open up another computer inside our computer, and that computer is through the software virtual machine. It's using some drive space that once you download it, another option that you can use is VMware. And if you have VMware Player or VMware Desktop, you can play this. Microsoft has a Hyper-V version, and then you can also use QEMU. I use across all of these. My free preference is VirtualBox. It's not as resource intensive, and it is created by Oracle. So at home, if you want to play this, you need to download VirtualBox, okay, and install it on your computer, and then download the virtual machine. So think of a virtual machine as like your Blu-ray or your DVD, and then your VirtualBox is the player for it, okay? So they already installed that on our computer for us. We're going to go ahead and we're going to click this right here to download, and that's going to take a few minutes. So as you are there, click this little arrow. So on the instruction, when you access Lab 1, for step 1, we're going to download, okay? Everybody got that? Now, once it downloads, by default, it's going to go into your downloads folder. So I can minimize this, open up this PC or my folder on my desktop here, and then go to downloads, and that would show up here, okay? It's always going to be a compressed file because that way it saves time to download. The 2023 version is the latest one, but down the line, you would see that they release new ones. So Kali always update their version. Then you are going to right-click this after you download it, and you're going to choose Show More Option. And you're going to choose 7-zip. You're just going to take Extract Files, okay? So again, once we download, we're going to right-click on our mouse, right-click, Show More Options, and we're going to choose 7-zip and Extract Files. At home, if you don't have 7-zip, you just choose Show More Option and Extract Files. And Microsoft, if you have Windows PC, it does come with the decompression tool with the OS, the operating system. Here, because they're using 7-zip, you would right-click show more option, choose 7-zip, and extract file. You don't need to choose any other. So I'm gonna do that. And this is gonna pop up. It's gonna throw it directly in the downloads folder. It's fine. We're gonna click OK. So it's gonna do its thing for a few minutes. Okay, when the green bar is full, then we're done. So this is a quick and easy way for us to get a virtual machine that's already pre-made. Okay. I did try to let this class create Ubuntu, but it was taking a lot of time and a lot of people were still very new to virtual machine. So once you are comfortable using the virtual machine, I will show you how you can make virtual machine. Okay? Any question? Okay. So once it's done, the screen bar is going to be full, and then we would have an unzip folder. Okay, so you got to wait till it's done. So that was the first couple of steps here, right? We extract our files after we download from Kelly. Any question? Some of you are pretty ahead already. So I'm just going to try to do a slow pace so everybody can follow. Okay, so once I have the unzip folder or extracted folder, I'm going to open up my virtual machine application to play now, my player. So you are going to search for VirtualBox. Oops. And you would find Oracle VirtualBox. Okay, so search for VirtualBox. If you search VirtualBox, you would find Oracle VirtualBox. You want the app. Okay, you can click it to open. Now, if you install the new version, it looks slightly different. This is the version that they had installed here. So it is very similar, but you can always go to machine and click add, or you can use the button here. So there are a few options for the virtual machine. One is to play the virtual machine. So you got to add it to the library to play. It's kind of like how you playing song on Spotify or Amazon Music. You have to add it to your library to play, right? So we're going to add it to the library, or we can make a new one by using new. So today we're going to use the add option. Okay. So right now I am at step 4. Okay. We're going to go to VirtualBox. We're going to click add. And this is going to pop up. That's okay. That's an RCCD thing saying, hey, you shouldn't be accessing this application. They just do the script you just gonna hit cancel or just close it. And then you're going to browse to downloads. Open up your folder. It's inside folder, and you need to find the blue file. Okay. So again, I'm here with my step 4. I'm going to click add. This pops up, close it. It's just a message saying you shouldn't be here. Close it. Go to downloads. Find my unzip or extracted folder. Open that up. Open the inside folder and find the VBox file, which has the blue icon. And you're going to click open. So now you have it in the library. Let's play it. You're going to click start. And it's going to take a few seconds to power up. So this is a hypervisor 2 type of virtual machine. You know, the notes touch on this. So if you read it, you will find that there are different types of virtualization. It uses a software and some hardware components to play. 2 things that you're going to need. You're going to need a decent amount of RAM, and you're going to need a decent amount of storage space to play many virtual machines. So, therefore, we can also check our virtual machine settings. So before you play, you can go in here and look at your system requirement. You can also, you know, increase and decrease your processor. See how I cannot change it once it's already played, but it's running a dual core. So if your computer has 8 core, it's gonna take 2 core of your computer. It's gonna play the virtual machine. Okay. And Kali logo is always gonna be the dragon, right? I use Backtrack. That's back in the day before the Kali. The people who created Backtrack, you know, came together and now they have Kali Linux. So this has been around for a long time. So after you let it go for a little bit, it's gonna boot. Okay. Which step am I at? I am at step 5. So to log in, you're gonna type in lowercase Kali for the username and lowercase Kali for the password. You can find this on their website. It's mostly like this. Sometimes they change it. They will put it on their website. So coming back here, you can always click the little, you know, icon to come back if you minimize it. So we're going to type in Kali for the username, hit tab, and then type in Kali for the password. And I'm confident we will be done in an hour and 20 minutes. And you can close if you see this little message, you can exit. It's just saying that when you click in it, it's going to capture your mouse, and when you click out of it. Now the downfall is sometimes the software program, sometimes it doesn't release your mouse, but hopefully you don't get into that situation, but sometimes it does that, right? So what I'll do is I will try to put the instruction next to it so we can see it together. Okay, so here's my desktop for my virtual machine. Everybody okay here? Okay, anybody have issues? This is how you download it? Let's download it. Yeah, and then after done, make sure you use something to extract, because sometimes Windows archive it and it doesn't. It works, but sometimes it doesn't always extract everything. Okay, so we're here, we're good. All right, so next you're gonna click on the terminal, which is the black square right here. Okay, so if you put your cursor next to your Firefox icon, that's your emulator. This is the command line for Linux. You're gonna click it and it's gonna pop this up. It's always gonna put the user account, right, for the system. So they name it Kali. Pay attention to your path as you are in the terminal, right? I am now very much like how you log on to this account on the system, okay? And then if we need to go into different folder, we will be able to navigate that. So the next one, we are going to do step number 2 for part B. We are going to access a kernel, which is, this is where your OS load the memory. Now, there are malware that impact the kernel, and it's going to destroy the kernel, and this is how it kills the OS, okay? But a quick way to find your kernel information, so this allows you to find your drive information, your memory allocation, your processes. So kernel is very important. This is where your OS live, basically, okay? So I click on the terminal and I have this. So I'm going to go ahead and use the uname command. So uname space -A. I'm using the switch A or the option A with the uname. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I'm doing step 2. and press enter once you type in the command. So it tells me this is the version of the OS I'm using, right? And the kernel information. And this is a Debian base. So the family for this Linux is Debian 6.5.6. Okay. Now you can do two ways to take a screenshot. You can press the print screen button on your top right, or what you can do is I like using Snippet. So you can search for the app called Snip and then click new, and then you can cut it and you can just paste it into here like that. So you have your lab and the screenshot. Okay. The reason why I have you do screenshot is when you look back in your lab one day and you're going to see the output for it, right? But you're going to turn that in. You can just put everything on the lab document and then turn it in. Okay. So however you want to do screenshot, let me close this. And then let me minimize this. Okay. So that was step 3. It asked me to do a screenshot. Sorry. For submission. Step 4. We're going to use the MESG command or the message command. This is going to look at the boot log. So when you're troubleshooting, it's always good to see what kind of things that your system go through for the boot. If it has security issues, it's going to log it there too. Okay, or if it has system error, it's going to log it there too. So what we're going to do is we are going to create a log file by using this command. Okay, so in your terminal again, you're going to do a sudo, which means super user do. You elevate your privilege to a super user from a regular user because this tool requires higher privilege. You're going to do DMSG and space, you're going to do an arrow, right? So basically in Linux, when you point the arrow, you're going to send that to a file. So that will be dmesg.log. So we're going to make a file called this name using the information that we're going to obtain from this tool. And once you type the command, you're going to press enter. It's going to ask for the password, so just type in Kali, lowercase. And notice that my cursor doesn't change, just type and press enter. Because if you're looking for the cursor, it's not going to move or blink or change. Linux doesn't do that. Okay, so just type in Kali and press enter. Everybody okay there? So what we did was we created a log file to get information from the log. You extract it. So I'm going to remove this from the library. So when you open it directly from here, it's still zipped. See how it throws it into the Microsoft Edge. So next time when you're using Edge to download, it's going to prompt you open or zip, right? It's going to put it in the download. It's going to right click and then show more options. If you're trying to open something that's compressed, what it is when you have to compress file, the file header is not the same, so it's not making it.
For some reason, theirs looks different. Because there's like images and stuff like that.
That's done. Use this folder. Navigate to the decompress. Okay.
Or else you're just not
Yeah. So now you just right click it and show more options. on the bottom, last one. 7 zip, and then extract files. Okay, and it's gonna make a unzip folder right here. And then you're gonna navigate from the app to it, and then find the VBox file. Okay, we're good? All right. So on the next one, what we're gonna do is we are going to use a command called cat. Whenever that you're using a cat command, you can read the content of the file. So cat stands for concatenation, and basically it is a way that we can access the content for the file. So when you're using a grep command, basically it is a way that we can search for this word, okay? Now, if it doesn't find anything, it's not going to display anything, okay? So I'm going to show you that right now. So if I type in the command for number 6, I'm going to cat, which is I'm going to read the demesg.log file. And we are going to use a pipe. So a pipe is above your enter key. Okay. So you need to hit shift and above the enter key, that's called a pipe. And then you are going to grep error. Okay. So what we're telling it to do is we are going to read the file and we are going to search for the error inside that file. If it doesn't find anything, it's not going to show anything. So that's normal. So that's a good thing. We don't have any error in our Linux system. Understand? Any question? But if I just, and this is not in the step, if I just need to read the file, I'm going to show you that right now. If you up arrow key, it's going to repeat the last command. And then you can take out the grep to just read the content. It's going to be a lot. Okay. That's how you read the entire log file. But we don't have time to go through line by line. So we can just grep for, we search, we filter the thing that we need to look for. Okay. Any question? You need help? Let me know. Okay. All right. So what kind of error do you see? I can answer right here, right? No error. No, nothing was shown. There's right when I come back here. So if you see some kind of error, it's going to show an additional line. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to make another log, and this is for modification of files. So ls mod allows you to look at the loaded mod files. That means that the files that are loaded or used, right, by the OS that has been modified. So we are going to do an ls mod, or I'm sorry, sudo ls mod, and then point to the file that we're going to make is called lsmod.log. And again, right, it doesn't show anything because it created the file. And then we are going to do a cat lsmod.log to read the file. And then we're going to grep space grep HDA. So HDA is the first hard drive for the OS to access. If it finds it, it's going to show you something. If it doesn't, it's just going to do on the next pop-up. So when I press enter here, it doesn't have anything because there's no hard drive, right? It might be named a little bit different. It might not be named HDA. It might be HD1 or HDB, right? So there's no name that identified the component as HDA. So it didn't find anything. So with that, I can go back and I can read only the file instead of the filter out the word, right? Error or HDA, I can just do a cat. So if you up arrow key, it repeats and you can modify your command. Okay, so if I just need to read the log file, remember it's a lot, right? It's a lot of information. It could be, see, So when we use a grep, we can filter down only the information that we need. Remember though, I said earlier, you don't want to sit there and read thousands of lines, right? I mean, yeah, you get paid to do that, but if you need to output something in 30 minutes, you want to use grep in Linux. Okay? Trust. Any question? All right, so on the next part, it tells you to do a cat lsmod.log. You are going to read the file and then screenshot that. What do you need?
Just trying to make the screens come up and the screen out. And we got that.
Did you play your virtual machine? Which step did you at? Where's your laptop? How are you gonna follow the lab and check the lab? Where's your finger? Yeah. Download the file of all the steps. Download. So let's start with the steps here. Okay? So if you, yeah, just follow this. There we go. All right, did you download this already? So it's not done. So it's not done correctly. So let's read that one here. Go back to your browser. You can download from the file. So once you get downloaded, download here. Just one time. You gotta save on one. Except on both. Just and then like save as. And then it's gonna put it on the USB. So let's not put it on the USB. Let's put it on your desktop so you can find it. Okay, go to your desktop. Or download, whatever you want. Okay. And then give it a few minutes when this is full, and go to your desktop and step 2. Other questions? Okay, so we talked about screenshotting for this one, step 10, and you're gonna do the same thing. So now we're gonna take a look at USB. So USB is one of the area in security that we need to control because anybody can plug a USB into your system and destroy your system, right? So a way that we can look at your USB bus or your connection for USB is to do an LS USB. Okay, LS stands for list in Linux. So we're gonna do a sudo, I'm doing step 11, LS USB. We're gonna point it to lsusb.log file. So we're gonna make a log file that lists our USB for step 11, right? Here, and then we're gonna cat it. LSUSB. So the point in .log. The point in this is to make you know how show you how you can create log file for a Linux system, because that could be important to your career one day, and then be able to read it. So we can see that there are 2 USB ports for our machine, right? It's listed right there. So if you have another system that have more, 6 or 10, right, it would list all of that there. Okay, any questions? Okay, so we see the USB. Next, we're gonna find the IP address. So an IP address is a network address that your system has to be able to connect to the network. So when I connect to my Wi-Fi router, right, my access point, I would be obtaining an IP address from it. And in Linux, you would see the one in purple, INET, are the addresses, right? Earlier, I showed you the loopback address, the 127. All systems have that loopback address. It's a way to identify itself. That's how it can call itself. Okay, the host call itself by a loopback address, aka 127.0.0.1. And when you talk to security people, they tell you all system call home because every system has a loopback address. Okay. And then here is my INET address. That's an actual IP address for my computer that is obtained by the DHCP server, or AKA at home if you use wireless router, your router at home. So after we find the IP address, we can put this information onto the log file, right? And so you can do it by using IP address, point it to IP address.log. And then we can now filter out only the IP address. I don't care about the extra stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a cat IP address.log. And we're going to grep, we're going to filter INET. Oh, I typed it wrong. I forgot the grep, sorry. Just rushing, it's too excited. So now I'm only able to have only the output with the addresses only, right? So it has the version 6 address, the version 4 address, the version 4 address. So this is my loopback right here. Okay. And then my version 4 address, and then my version 6 addresses. So that's a quick way for you to only list the addresses and not the extra things. So we see 4 addresses, right? And then the version 4, how can I tell it's the version 4 or version 6? When you see the dot like this, 127.0.0.1, that's called the octal, right? Each of these are 8 bits, okay? So IP version 4 addresses have 32 bits. So there are 2. The version 6, it would say INET 6. Okay, those are the version 6 addresses. And it uses hexadecimal, whereas version 4 uses decimal. So because of the combinatorics, hexadecimal gives you more addresses. That's why we upgraded to version 6. So the version 4 address, I gave you the answer here already. You can see that here. All right, so let's do the file. This is the next part. I'm going to show you how you can make folder and file in command line. Similar to Windows environment. So what you're going to do is you are going to change directory to desktop. So we're moving from the account folder, which is Kali. We're going to do a CD, which is change directory. And in Linux, it is case sensitive. So desktop. So if you're using Apple system, the terminal is very similar to Linux. Most of the commands are the same, except for some of the unpack of the packages. And then we are now, notice that my path has changed. So I'm now, it's like I open up my desktop now, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and do a make dir. This is the same in Windows. I'm going to make a directory called CIS27 on my desktop. So in Linux, folder is called directory, okay? So we're going to do a make dir, so mkdir, CIS27. So we're going to make a folder or a directory on the desktop that with that name. See how this pops up here? So you should see yours pop up like that. It should show the desktop with the folder. And there are multiple ways to make files. So the first one we're going to use is we're going to use a touch command. A touch command allows you to make many files at once, and they're all just empty file right now, right? So we are gonna do two files. We're gonna do a file 1 and a file 2. So we're gonna do a touch file 1.txt. You always want to tell it what kind of file you're making, space, file 2. I'm sorry. Before we do a touch, we're gonna access the folder first. I skipped 17. So do cd CIS27. We're gonna move into the folder now. We're gonna open up the folder and then we're gonna do a touch. File 1.txt and then file 2.txt. So if you want to make more files, you just keep on going, right? So how do I know that this is made? Okay. A quick way that you can check, and I didn't put the step here, but I'm going to show you how you can check. If you want to check the content of that folder, you do an ls. That's called a list. See how it's made? Okay. So if you make like 20 files, you want to see if it's there, just do an ls, right? Because you're already in that location. It's going to show you what the content of it is. Okay, so we made the files for step 18. We can install Nano. This is another way that you can make a file, but Nano allows you to input text into a certain file. It is a text editor. Okay, some of you use Nano for other type of courses, or if Nano can also be installed in Apple system. So we're gonna do a sudo apt get install Nano. This is how you install an app in Linux in terminal. So it tells me that it's already installed. I don't need to install it, right? It's at the newest version. So that's good. What we're going to do is we are going to Nano. We're going to open up this text file and edit it. Okay. So we're going to do Nano text or file 1.txt. And it's going to open up the app within. So this is what the text editor looks like in terminal. And I'm going to go ahead and type, this is test 1. And so you can type your text in there. And when you're done, you just hit Control X on your keyboard. And it asks you, do you want to save the difference? Yeah, of course. Type Y, type yes, right? It tells you yes or no. We're going to do yes. So Y. And then enter. Save it as the same name. So in terminal, this is how we can open a file and edit it using a text editor. Linux is beautiful in that it has all the capability. You don't need the desktop, right? So many of you will find that in most server that are running web server for your websites are Linux servers because the license are free. And on the server, there's no desktop, just terminal. So if you are comfortable with this, it's easy for you to navigate the system, okay? I can program everything in terminal, right? I don't really need IDE, all of that. I can write Python script and run it one time. So if you guys want to learn that, take my Python security class later on. All right. So we are at step 21. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing for test 2. So coming back here, we're going to do nano file 2.txt. We created that, right? It's going to open this up and we're going to say this is test 2. Then we're going to press Control X. So we're just going to repeat the last step. And then yes. So just repeat the last step for file 2. Okay. Any question? Yes. Yeah, you don't have error, or you don't have that, so it doesn't show. That's normal. So only if you have something like that, it's gonna pop up there, okay? So you'll find this. So basically, you're saying search for this in this file, and if it doesn't find it, it doesn't show. So that's normal. Yes. Have the same password. It doesn't change the cursor. So if you type in an error prompt again, just type in a word. It doesn't, in Linux doesn't change the cursor. Okay, we're good? Other questions? Guys, see your hand back there. Give me a second.
Oh, okay.
Control C.
Yeah, nice.
Just kidding. Other question? Okay, so go to review extracted, go to on your desktop. Extracted. So now you go to VirtualBox. And then go to your desktop where you save it. You don't remember when you save it. Go up. Go to your desktop. Desktop folder. Double-click, open again. There you go. That and then open, and then click start. That will be step 3. Okay. Any questions?
After I get this done, do I just follow the,
All the steps. It's there. Just you're in part A, the first 3 steps. Okay. So we talked about using Nano. We're gonna go ahead and read the text file now, right? So I did the step 22. So now if I want to read, I'm gonna go ahead and do a cat file1.txt. It's gonna just give me the content, right? So if you have a paragraph in that file, it's gonna pop that up. And so that's a quick way for you to read it, okay? And then I wanna read the file too. So we're gonna do cat file2.txt. And at this point, we can screenshot for the number 25. So I can do a snip. I'm going to go ahead and make a new one, right? I just drag it and then paste it into the next part here. And there I go. Okay. Any questions? Okay, so we learned that we can edit the file using Nano. We can cat into it to check our content. Now we're going to use another one called Echo, right? Echo is the same thing and in Windows as in Linux. And the quick way that I remember this, you can say Echo is to relay, like relaying text. Or if you speak Spanish, I normally remember Echo as made, right? Like, so that was just creating the file. So you can do it all in one shot, that you can append the text into the file. It doesn't need to exist yet, right? You're just going to make the file and put the text into it in one shot. So I like Echo for the fact that you can do that. So we're going to do an Echo. Make sure that you have the quotation mark because it is a string. This is test 3. And close the quotation mark. And then you're going to point it to the arrow file3.txt. So we're going to append the string, which is the one in quotation mark. This is test 3, that line, and put it into the text file and press enter. Nothing happens, right? But what we're going to do is we're going to read it now. So we're going to do a cat file3.txt. And there it is. It worked, right? The reason why I'm going over the basic with this with you is because in future classes and the things that you do, a lot of the times it's like open files, read file, check the permissions, things like that, install applications. Okay, so now we're gonna do an ls, and there are actually 3 files. Because we made 3, right? File 1, file 2, and file 3. And then you can screenshot this showing 3 files that you did 3 files for the lab. We're almost done. It's not even 8 o'clock yet. All right, we're at step 28. Now what we're gonna do is we are gonna do a copy. So how can I move a bunch of files into a location like a folder or a directory? I'm gonna do a CP. So a way that we can copy in Linux is we're gonna do a copy command. So since we have 3 files, and if you don't, it's gonna throw an error. Make sure that your file names are the same. So we're gonna do a CP, and we're gonna do file1.txt space, file2.txt space, file3.txt, and we're gonna go to temp, which is TMP. So whichever the directory that you want to copy it to, right? You are going to finish that at the end. So I'm taking these 3 files and I'm going to copy it, which is in my CIS27 folder, and I'm going to throw it into another folder. Okay? And if it doesn't throw error, then you're good. Now we're going to access that folder. So we're going to do a cd/tmp. And notice that my path change here. Very important you pay attention to that. And then we're going to do a list, ls. And it's going to show a bunch of stuff because temp has hidden files, but there are your 3 files that you copy and you are successful. Yes, Gabriel. It's in the instruction. So read the next few steps. Callie. All lowercase. Any question? So if you see the 3 files here, right, we can screenshot. If you didn't, then you need to repeat the earlier steps. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can read the permissions using LSL. This is an L, not a 1 for the last few steps, LSL. Okay, so we can read the permission for a certain file. We're going to do an ls space -l, lowercase l. And we're going to do a file3.txt. And you can read any file permission this way. It's like checking its property, right? So the permissions are listed in the front right here. Read, write, read, and read. And if you're taking OS class or Linux class, it tells you, right, like user, group, and then world, right? So you belong in a nested environment, and the object is the same way. So it's telling me that this is read, write, and read and read. So in different level of the container, it has different permission. Oops. So for the owner permission, which is the first part here, right? I own the file. I created the file, so I'm the owner, so I can open it and save it. So that's a read write. So I gave you the answer there. And then for the group permission, it is your read, write, and then read. So it's actually just the R. And then on the bottom here, I show you the U is the first part. That's the file owner. The G is the group. So the user who are members of the group. And so that means that that group can only read. And then other users and all users, that's going to be the outer, which is only read. So when we look at this, right, we have the owner, the group, and then the world, which is all users. All right. The next few steps and we're done. We're going to do a chmod as I promised you, right? So we're going to do a change, right? Permission command. We're going to do a chmod. And we're going to do a group is, make sure no space, read. Or you can, it's already read, so we can make it into write or something else. But I just want to practice with you. File 3.txt. So whatever the permission is, you're going to do a lowercase g for the group and then the file name. And it modifies that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the execute permission for file 2 from the owner. So whenever that you don't specify which group or all users, right? It's going to default to the owner. So we're going to do a chmod a-x file 2.txt. And after you modify permission, it's always good to check it. So we're going to do an lsl file 2.txt, which we add the read, right? So it's still read. And then we're going to do an lsl file 3.txt. It didn't have an execute, so you don't really see the difference in these. But in the case that it's an app file, then you can remove the execute. That means they cannot run the file. So they can only read, which means open the file and see it, but not run the file. Okay? Yeah, make sure before we go, I need to take attendance. But make sure before we go, right, remove your USB and shut down the computer. But save your work before you do so, right? Before you remove your USB, save your work to the USB or the cloud, and then eject your USB and then close all your app and shut down your computer. That wipes the computer. So that way, in case, even if you forget to log off, it does log you off, and then if I want to close my virtual machine, I just do a shutdown now. And boom, it's done. So shutdown, if you just do shutdown, it counts down 60 seconds. But if you do shutdown now, it puts a 0 for the parameter for that command. And we're done. Okay. Let me stop recording.